AI just moved into your home and it's not stopping there. What if the smart speaker in your kitchen stopped being a slightly confused timer with a weather habit and started becoming a real assistant? That is where Google appears to be heading. Google has opened pre orders for a new Gemini powered home speaker. It is supposed to understand normal conversation better, follow requests with several steps, and respond more naturally when you change your mind halfway through. So instead of issuing three separate commands, you may be able to say, turn off the bedroom lights, lower the thermostat, and remind me tomorrow morning to call the electrician. That sounds like a small improvement. It is not. It means AI is moving out of the chat window and into the room around you. And almost on cue, ChatGPT is getting better at doing things later. OpenAI has rebuilt its scheduled tasks feature and added a dedicated page where users can manage recurring jobs. You can ask ChatGPT to prepare a regular briefing, remind you about something, or run a repeated task based on your conversations, interests, and connected apps. Someone set up a reminder on ChatGPT to give them an idea of the background of the Portugal team every time they play a match, and the reminder would ask the person to have a look at this sum up of the team's progress and performance so that they could enjoy the match more. That's crazy. In plain English, ChatGPT is becoming less like someone you can call when you need an answer and more like an assistant that remembers to show up. And while Google and OpenAI are trying to enter your home and calendar, Midjourney has apparently decided it would also like to enter your body. Yes, that Midjourney, the AI graphics images company that started it all. The company best known for generating fantasy AI art has just unveiled a full body ultrasound scanner. You step into a water-filled machine, sound waves pass through your body, and the system builds a three-dimensional internal map in roughly a minute. It is going to be much cheaper than anything else, especially a fraction of the cost of an MRI. The Midjourney, in fact, says that the scanner could be much faster and cheaper than any MRI. Those are company claims, not independently confirmed medical facts. The first version is also not a cancer detector or an MRI replacement. It is expected to provide general body composition information, such as maps of fat, muscle, and organs. The first location is planned at the Midjourney Spa in San Francisco, because apparently the future of healthcare is part medical clinic, part luxury bathhouse, and part science fiction movie where nobody explains the waiver properly. But this matters because AI companies are no longer staying inside software. They are moving into medical hardware, personal health data, and machines that physically interact with people. And governments have noticed. Senior officials in the Trump administration reportedly discussed whether the US government should take ownership stakes in major AI companies. One idea would place AI shares into government-backed investment accounts. Another would put them into a sovereign wealth fund, basically a national investment portfolio. No decision has been made, and the proposal would be politically difficult. But even discussing it tells you how Washington now sees AI, not as another software sector. It is a strategic infrastructure for the government. And that became even clearer at the G7 summit in France, where powerful AI executives met political leaders behind closed doors. Anthropic's Dario Amodei and Google DeepMind's Demis Hassabis reportedly pushed for a US-led coalition to shape international AI rules. The discussions included shared safety testing, access to advanced models, cyber and biological risks, and semiconductor trade that could exclude China. OpenAI's Sam Altman also argued for international testing of frontier models. So the debate is moving from should we regulate this to whose rules will the world follow. And while leaders discuss global standards, customers may soon feel AI in a more familiar place, the price tag. Tim Cook has reportedly warned that rising memory chip costs could eventually push up the prices of iPhones and Macs. AI companies are buying enormous quantities of memory for data centers. That creates more competition for components also used in consumer electronics. One outside estimate suggested Apple might need to add around $270 to a future iPhone Pro to preserve its margins. That is not confirmed pricing, And the figure may not be exact, but the larger point is simple. Even if you never pay for an AI subscription, the AI boom may still make your next phone more expensive. The competition is also becoming a war for individual people. Norm Shazir, one of the researchers behind the transformer architecture that made modern chatbots possible, is leaving Google for OpenAI. Shazir helped create the basic design underneath systems like ChatGPT, Gemini, and Claude. Google had brought him back to help lead Gemini. Now he is joining the rival Google hired him to compete against. In most industries, companies fight over customers. In frontier AI, they also fight over the very small group of people who know how to build the engines. Meanwhile, Europe is preparing to enforce some of the world's toughest rules for high-risk AI. From August 2nd, 2026, systems used in hiring, credit, medical decisions, and critical infrastructure will face stricter requirements around risk management, bias, documentation, and human oversight. Penalties can reach up to 7% of global revenue depending on the violation. And the rules can affect companies based outside Europe if their systems operate inside the European Union. So, an American company cannot simply say we are not European and walk away whistling. Now, let us move from rules to something you can wear on your face. Snap has launched AI-powered augmented reality glasses called Specs, SPECS, priced at $2,195. The glasses can see what you see, place digital information over the real world, and support experiences built with tools connected to Claude Code, Codex, Cursor, and Snap's own development platform. At that price, these are not casual sunglasses. These are not please do not sit on them sunglasses. But the bigger idea is that the next AI interface may not be a phone. It may be a device that watches the world with you and adds information directly to your view. Software development is also preparing for another jump. Cursor says it is building a model with more than 1.5 trillion parameters, trained on over 100,000 GPUs. Those are company figures, and they may not tell us how useful the model will actually be. Bigger does not automatically mean better. Cursor says the model will go beyond autocomplete and handle much larger software tasks. It is expected within weeks, but until developers test it, the bold claims remain bold claims. Amazon, meanwhile, is building the management layer for a future filled with AI workers. AWS has introduced two systems called Continuum and Context. They are designed to help multiple AI agents share memory, work across teams, and connect with company tools. Think of it this way. One AI writes a report, another checks the numbers, a third sends the update, and all three remember what happened yesterday. The hard part is no longer creating one clever chatbot. It is making a group of them work together without turning the company into a digital group project where nobody knows who changed the file. And finally, cheaper models are putting pressure on the expensive leaders. In one small experiment, Kimi K2.7 Code and Claude Fable 5 were asked to build 12 landing pages. Kimi reportedly completed the work at 94% lower cost, or about 16 times cheaper. That comes from one limited test. So it should not be treated as a universal verdict, but it highlights a major trend. The AI race is no longer only about who has the smartest model. It is also about who can deliver useful results without sending the finance department into mourning. So today's stories may look unrelated. A smart speaker, reminders, a medical scanner, government investment, chip shortages, AI glasses, coding models, and AI agents. But they're all pointing in the same direction. AI is becoming less a tool you open and more like a layer underneath everyday life. It'll be in the room, on the calendar, inside the company, on your face, and possibly checking your organs while you sit in a futuristic hot tub. That is exciting. It is also exactly why the arguments about cost, safety, ownership, and rules are getting much louder. If you enjoyed this episode of Stress-Free AI News, do like, share, and subscribe to our channel. See you in the next episode.